Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 9 at Oaklawn Park on Saturday. Kicks off a 50-cent pick 4. It's the $150,000 Oaklawn Mile. We're going a two-turn mile. Some really nice horses returning off layoffs in this race. Before we get to the analysis, I want to remind you to try the new DRF mobile PPs. Get true mobile access on your phone anywhere, anytime. Daily racing form, past performances, exclusive lifetime buyer speed figure graph. Learn more, drf.com/MPPS. Here's the field for the Oaklawn Mile, and you'll see some very familiar names in here, led by the number 3, Tom's D'Etat, winner of the Grade 1 Clark Handicap, coming into this race off 6 consecutive triple-digit buyer speed figures. And when he's right, Mike, when he's sound, he's one of the best older horses in the country.
Yeah, he is. He kept getting better. It's surprising considering how much time he lost, Dan. He just kept getting better, though, when he finally got back to the races, and now he's a Grade 1 winner. Listen, he's got a layoff to deal with here, and, the mile might be a little short for him, but I think on his best day, he's supposed to be a handful in here.
And he has learned to relax as he's gotten older, and that should serve him well. As we take a look at the Timeform US pace projector, expecting a red bar situation, the 9 home run trick, very fast out of there. The improving Slick Silver is fast. The classy Mr. Money and Pioneer Spirit. Those horses like to be close to the pace. It could help Tom's D'Etat. Let's begin with the number 1, Slick Silver. What about the job Brittany Vandenberg has done here? Claiming this horse for $7,500. Didn't claim this horse off Joe Dirt. Claimed this horse off Steve Asmussen. And the next thing you know, Slick Silver has won 6 in a row, including this race at Oaklawn Park last time out on March the 28th. A race in which he was able to get to the lead, game in the lane, but this is a giant hike up the class ladder.
I guess it is, Dan. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's obviously a very tough spot for this horse, but as you say, just on a real run right now, 6 for 6 off the claim, 5 for 5 around 2 turns. I guess he comes out of there running from the rail and just tries to see what happens here. I'd be very surprised if he could take this field all the way.
The number 2, Mr. Money, emerged as a good second-season 3-year-old last year for Brett Calhoun. He reeled off 4 consecutive graded stakes victories, and then in the Pennsylvania Derby, he went right to the front, and he was run down late by a 1,000,000-to-1 shot. I thought it was a little bit disappointing that he got beat that day. Maybe the sign that he was starting to get a bit fatigued, and I think in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he just looked like a tired horse that needed a layoff. He's gotten a layoff here. A mile, I think, is very good for Mr. Money. He's a strong contender if he's sharp off the bench.
Yeah, agreed. I just think this is a way better distance for him. I agree with you that his Pennsylvania Derby was a disappointing loss, and maybe you're right too, Dan, that he was starting to turn the corner there and head the wrong way. But to me, 9 furlongs is just too far for him, especially against the horses. I like him a lot better at a mile. I'm a little concerned that he can be a hard horse to ride. He gets very headstrong early in his races, but if he gets a trip, I think he's going to be very tough in this race.
Tom's D'Etat is simply the horse to beat. He's 3-1 on the morning line. He's going to be significantly shorter than that come post time. Again, 6 consecutive triple-digit buyers. His Clark Handicap was just an excellent race where he saved ground early, came 4 wide in between horses on the turn, and he was geared down late. There was no issue with him winning that race. Now, of course, after that race, the plan was the Ben Ali at Keeneland. There's no Keeneland spring meeting. That spring meeting was abandoned. He has to show up here. A mile might be short. Perhaps those are enough reasons to try to beat him at a short price, but I can't throw him out completely. He is just the best horse on paper.
Yeah, that's how I looked at him too. I mean, if you want to take a shot against him and factor in the layoff and that this wasn't plan A and that the mile could be short for him, I am not going to try and talk you out of taking that position. But if he shows up and runs his race in here, I just think he's going to be really tough. This horse got really good at the end of last year. And as you say, he just feels like he's going to fall into the right trip in this race.
Pioneer Spirit is just an honest horse in every way. He's won 12 times, claimed for $150,000. He's proved that claim was prescient. He came back to win 2 stakes races immediately, 3rd in the Essex last time out. Just didn't see the excuse in the Essex. He was right on top of Snapper Sinclair turning into the stretch. Couldn't get by that horse late. He's a nice horse that might face a difficult pace situation and tougher rivals.
Agreed. I like him a lot as a horse. He's just rock solid, and you can expect him to show up every time. So if you like him, you're going to get his honest effort in here. I thought it was a little tough for him. I think the pace scenario probably works against him. But I'll tell you what, if he somehow finds himself on the lead at the top of the stretch, he is not going to be easy to pass.
Third off the layoff for the number 5 Boldor with improving Beyer speed figures on display, but this is going to be a big ask. He is stretching out around 2 turns. He has yet to win around 2 turns. In against some good horses last time. Whitmore is one of the better sprinters in the country, but going 2 turns against the likes of Tom's d'Etat, he's really going to have to pick it up.
Yeah, I just thought it was too tough for him, Dan, especially when you factor in that Asmussen's just on a dreadful run right now. His barn cannot seem to find a win. I mean, I could see if they were going really well and you saw Asmussen taking a shot with this horse that maybe you would take a second look. But the way they're going and the way that this horse has to improve, he's not for me.
Let's take a look at MG Warrior's most recent win. This is his first race with blinkers. Now, it came over a muddy track. He didn't break very well. He was last early. He got a good pace set up. He came rolling by those horses, but that pace just collapsed. The horses that finished 1, 2, 3 all came from the back of the pack. He might get a similar situation here, but this is a horse. His Beyer speed figures are just a bit light.
They are. Listen, I like his running style for this race. This race could really set up well for him. And obviously, just going back through all of his races, he really wants to sit and make one run. I just don't know if he's good enough.
And you have to respect his trainer, Brad Cox, as we see from a formulator fact. Last out winner, dirt routes, non-graded stakes races, 27% winners and a positive return on investment. Snapper Sinclair is just a nice, honest horse. He's only 1 for 14 on fast going, but he's good on turf. He's good on dirt. I thought he ran well last time out in the Essex. He got to the lead. He was pressured by Pioneer Spirit turning for home. He never let Pioneer Spirit go by, and a good trip stalker, Night Ops, was able to run him down. He is honest, and he has recency over his main competition. I think that automatically makes him somewhat of a contender at a price.
Yeah, and the mile could also be a good distance for him. So I'm okay with all those things. I do, the more I looked at him, Dan, the more I sort of felt like, especially in his dirt races, his good dirt races, they tend to come when he's part of the pace. I don't know if that's really going to work out that well for him in here, but he's a pretty honest racehorse. I could use him somewhere.
And we just saw Snapper Sinclair running second. He was down towards the inside in a game performance. Bankit didn't run well in the Essex Handicap last time out, and I wonder if just that was a situation where he doesn't like a wet track. He might be better on fast going. In the Razorback, 2 starts back, he got a great trip under Ricardo Santana, saved ground, split horses, and just couldn't get by Warrior's Charger in a big race that day. He is capable of some big Beyer speed figures. He's also Bankit, who often settles for minor awards.
And that bothers me about him, too. I'm giving him a pass for the Essex last time. I didn't think he ran terribly in there, and I'm with you. I don't think he likes a wet track. I thought his Razorback was good. I'm surprised Warrior's Charge isn't back in this race because he ran huge in there, and he would have been a factor in this race. And I just like this horse's form dating all the way back to last summer. I feel like he just kept getting better as a 3-year-old. I think he's still getting better as a 4-year-old. Asmussen's horses are hard to take right now, Dan, but this is the Asmussen I want in this race.
It was a tale of 2 pace scenarios for Home Run Trick in both of his starts this form cycle. In his first race off a long layoff, he just controlled a moderate pace, sprinted on home to beat allowance horses. Last time out, he threw a fit in the gate. Then he had to go very fast early in a race where the pace just did not hold up at all, and he tired. He's better than that race shows. I'm just surprised they're running him here in a very tough spot with other speeds. I'll wait for him to drop back down to an optional claimer.
Me too. I want this horse with some class relief. I don't like him in this race.
Long Range Toddy won a division of the Rebel last year, beating Improbable, who we'll talk about in a little bit. After that, though, he really hasn't improved much. Yes, he was the Arkansas Derby, the Kentucky Derby most notably. He just seemed to tail off during the second half of the year. He's another horse. I like that they've given him a little bit of time. He's now in the Dallas Stewart barn. I think you can take him a little bit more off pace than he's shown in his last few races. I need to see one off the layoff, though, as he faces older horses for the first time.
I could take a wait-and-see approach with him as well. He was okay as a 3-year-old. He sort of made his name when he upset Improbable in the Rebel last year, but Improbable probably ran the better race that day considering the trips these 2 horses got. He's okay. I just don't really like him that much in this race. 3
of the final 4 horses in this race were entered in the Santana Mile at Santa Anita before their race meeting was abandoned. Lord Guinness, one of them. Lord Guinness looked good 2 starts back. That was way back, though, almost a year ago when he won a non-winners of 1 other. Then I thought he ran fine off the layoff last time out. He was 3 wide around both turns. He was very game in the stretch. The winner came back to run second at Golden Gate with a 93 Beyer speed figure. That being said, this is his first race against stakes competition of any kind, and he's facing some hard hitters.
I respect that he's improved for Tim Yakteen, and I did think he looked good winning that Santa Anita race last April with a big figure. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it against these horses.
Kershaw was also entered in the Santana Mile. He looked really good, I thought. He got the right setup, but I thought he looked really good beating much weaker competition in that 2X at Santa Anita. It was his first start off an 8-month layoff. He was able to control the pace, and he finished it off. Now, if he is a need-the-lead type, and he very well may be, well, then he's in big trouble in this race. But he seems to be working very well for Phil D'Amato. At 20-1, I'm going to use this horse.
I did think he looked good winning that race. It's certainly the best race he's ever run there off the layoff back in February. I mean, we'll see what he can do. I'm, like as you sort of alluded to, Dan, all 4 of his wins when he's been able to just get control of the pace. And I just don't know if he can do that here.
That's going to be the big question mark for Kershaw. I think he is improving. Fight On is next. This horse won the 5th season at Oaklawn in 2019. His last 4 races have been in Dubai. We'll take a look at the Mahab al-Shamal. They cut him back to 6 furlongs with a run to finish 3rd. That distance is just a little bit short for him. He'll obviously get Lasix again coming to the States. He likes Oaklawn. Just not sure he's the best closer in this race.
Yeah, I thought he made a decent run last time when they turned him back, and I don't mind them stretching him back out for this race. I just don't know if I think he's good enough.
Improbable, second in the division of the Rebels, second in the Arkansas Derby, and the answer to a trivia question of who was the betting favorite in both the Kentucky Derby and Preakness in 2019. In the Pennsylvania Derby, he didn't get a very good trip when he was the beaten favorite. He was fractious in the gate. They sprang the latch when he really wasn't paying attention. He was down towards the inside. And in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he just didn't fire when spun to run in Omaha Beach. There's 2 horses that are better than he is. He's gotten some time for Baffert. He was going to run in that Santana Mile. This is a terrible post position, and while he has the ability to win this race, I just don't trust him as much as I trust the Mr. Moneys and the Tom's Day Tots.
I kind of agree with you. I mean, I'm still a fan of this horse, and, I realize that I guess he never really panned out and turned out to be as good as it looks like he once might be. I still think he's pretty good. I think he can win this race. Post 14 is no bargain. I'm not going to bet him at a short price, but I just think he's a really nice fit in here, Dan, and a horse you don't just want to dismiss.
Top pick time for the Oaklawn Mile. We're kicking off a 50-cent pick 4. Listen, Tom's Day Tot is way the horse to beat. If he comes back anything like he's shown in his career, he's probably going to win. I just threw a stab out there, just a horse that I would use as a backup in the pick 4. I liked Kershaw's last race. I have a feeling he's coming into hand. He is going to have to do a lot of things. He's probably going to have to hope that these layoff horses aren't ready to go. But I picked him, Tom's Day Tom, using a lot of. I went 12, 3, 7, and 2. Tom's Day Tom, your top pick.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with him, Dan. I understand anybody who, wants to take a shot against him here at a short price. I'm not going to do that. I just think he's better than these horses. And I'll expect Al Stahl to have him ready to run in here. Mr. Money, I'm going to use him. Bankett's my long shot that I'm going to try and get in there somewhere, but I'm not going to try and beat Tom's the Top.
38214 for Mike, 12372 for me. It's the $150,000 Oaklawn Mile. It is a goodie. Race number 9 at Oaklawn on Saturday is an approximate post of 443 Central. Best of luck.